Hey guys, this is Luke again, and where do you think am I? I'm actually gonna do tier list for Ninjago now. Um, but yeah, this is the first one out of many. Don't worry. But this is gonna be solely focused on the characters, or at least some of the characters. Up until I think Margione or something like that. Because hopefully, when they update it, I'll do another version. I'll do an update version, basically, where it shows the other ones, and then I could just do the other characters, even though there weren't that many in season 11. But basically, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And also, by the way, this is a new shirt that my grandma got me. So, do you like the shirt? Tell me in the comments below. It's a really cool long sleeve. But anyway, let's get into the video. So there's 5 tiers: A, B, C, D, or F. With A being the best and F being the worst. We need to make another tier for God characters, because there are some characters who are awesome, then there are characters who are God tier, basically. So let me just create add row buff. Should be S. I'm changing the colors a bit. Don't worry. Sorry if this will take long. This one's A. This one's A. Okay, here we go. S. Okay, let's start with Kai. Kai, yeah. A lot of people are not really liking Kai anymore simply because, of him quote unquote being ruined since Sons of Garmadon. And as I made a video previously, I told you that Jay has basically suffered the same fate, so you can't just say Kai's the only one. But Kai is actually a pretty cool character. Because of season 11, he's not my third favorite ninja, so I wouldn't say he's A. A is stretching a bit much, but I will put him at a respectable B. Now, J, I'm doing this up until their current counterparts, basically, how they evolved all the way up to season 11. J, now, J has always been that comic relief character, and there was never really a time where he, did something on his own, until Skybound, sort of. And I say sort of because, in my opinion, it was more Jay and Nia rather than Jay himself. So I do like Jay, but not this. I feel like he's sort of downgraded a bit. Ever since Sons of Garmadon as well. But season 6 and 7 were his best seasons. Well, all the way up to season 7 was his good when he was really good. But now, because he would be a B if it was just up until season 7. But because season 8 to 11 sort of downgraded him, I gotta have to put him at C. Cole. Oh, I love Cole. Cole is a very relatable character. He doesn't have anything. He just started off with nothing and rising to the top. It's the true rags to riches story. He had his mother died when he was very young, and his dad really didn't care about him. So he looked up to Sensei Wu. And Wu's sort of always this father figure with him. So I could definitely understand where he's coming from, and Kirby does such a good job voicing him, so I gotta put him at A. Zane, no explanation needed. Lloyd, okay. Oh, Tool, why did you do that? But Lloyd, okay. Lloyd, he was an asshole basically in season 1, but he got better in season 2. Season 3 was pretty good. Season 4, he was okay-ish. He was a little whiny, but not too much. Season 5 was a good season for him. Season 6, he didn't really do anything. And season 7, he was a bit of an asshole again. But season 8 to 11 has definitely improved Lloyd. Because before season 8, he was either a mediocre or a terrible ninja. Mediocre or terrible. But ever since Sons of Garmadon, I really liked Lloyd a lot. So He was originally going to be in D if it was up to, but because seasons 8 to 11 improved him, I'm gonna say C. Nia. Now Nia is a little bit tricky. Seasons 1 and 2, she was good. Season 3, she was dumb. She was a dumb bitch. For causing a whole stupid love triangle bullshit to happen. Then season 4, she was good. Season 5 was her best season. I don't care what anyone says. Season 6, she was a bitch. Season 7, she was awesome. Season 8, bitch. Season 9, she didn't really do anything. Season 10, she had that little marriage thing. And season 11, she's awful. So I just feel like she C or D. Because she didn't really do much, I'm gonna have to do much in the newer seasons. I have to put her at D. I don't hate Nia. F is where I hate the characters. Basically, I hate them. Skylar. This is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I despise Skylar as a character. She is one of the most boring characters I've ever seen. Voice acting is not that good, and her relation to Chen already pisses me off just on alone. So, sorry, Skylar fans. Then we got Wu. Paul Dobson. Man, you do such a great job playing Wu. Yes, it's the repeat of the old master trope, but to be honest, if you're going to have a show about martial arts, you got to have the old master trope. You have to. All right, sorry, I let go of him by accident. But he's really good. His good seasons were I don't think there's only like a couple seasons where he's really terrible. Like Pilots, he was awesome. Season 1, he was awesome. Season 2, he was awesome. Season 3, he was awesome. Season 4, he was awesome. He's basically an awesome character. God tier, that's a bit stretching it, but I will put him at A. I love Wu. Oh, we have to put Garment on at S. He's one of the best developed, if not the best developed villain in the entire show. Yeah, I know this is the movie Garmadon, but I'm talking about show Garmadon. Show Garmadon, oh my lord, his evolution from Lord to Sensei to Emperor is just amazingly well done. One of the best characters in the entire show. Dareth, I hate him. He's a dick, a misogynist, and a sexist. Lil Nelson. Oh, I love this guy. I love Lil Nelson. David Reynolds plays him so well. I don't think he's God tier, but I will put him in A because I love Lil Nelson. Now, this is another unpopular opinion. I actually like Misako. A lot of people don't like her because of how she raised Lloyd, of how she is, quote, one of the really bad parent. I mean, yes, her parenting is questionable, but it's not to the point where, you have to call Child Protective Services on. Because, yes, she did just leave him there. But, it could have been worse. She could have murdered him or raped him for all I know. But yeah, but what I get what they're saying in this, because it's a kid show, the worst thing that the parent could do is leave their child behind. So I could definitely see that. But I'm thinking about realistically wise, because if it wasn't defined as a show, if it was just a world that we created, worse things could happen. But I do like her voice acting, and she's kind of hot to me for some reason. But I will, just to avoid controversy, I will put her at C. Pixel. Oh, I love her. Her connection with Zane is so awesome. This is the ship that has stood the test of time. It's not Jaya. It's not Jaya. People always say it's Jaya, but for me, Jaya got progressively worse over time. But with Zane, it's gotten better over time. And to be honest, she's not God tier as Zane is, but she is definitely qualified for it. Ed. Okay. Ed, I did like the "all you have to do is ask" little quote, but he's not really. If he was focused more, then I would put him in somewhere like B or somewhere. I think he deserves C because he's pretty good, I guess, and is pretty good as well. Accidentally dropped her again, so C for it. Lou. Lou was sort of a dick up until the Royal Blacksmiths. He just left his son behind. I mean, same thing with Misako, but I feel like this was worse. This was a worse case because at least Lloyd had a mom. Cole did not. That's what makes it worse for me. You're the only supporting parent, Lou, and yet you decide to leave your child behind. That really pisses me off. So he's gotten better over time, but that initial, he's not a dick. He's not like I hate him, but he does deserve D. Maya. The sad thing about Ray and Maya is that they only appeared in one season. Or like a few episodes, to be honest. Maya is pretty cool, I guess. Even though I prefer Ray over Maya, considering Ray has a better dynamic than Maya is. So I think Maya's not terrible. It's just that she's very underdeveloped and she could be really good in the future, but I'm going to put her at D. And why do you do that to me, Pointer? And Ray at C. Cyrus Borg. I really like this guy. He created Pixel. He basically created a lot of technology in Rebooted. But ever since Zane's death, he sort of stepped back a little bit, which was the right decision, to be honest. It was definitely the right decision. And I do love this guy. So I don't think he's A, but I will say he's B. Ronan. Okay. Ronan is the most traitorous character in the entire show. You never really know if he has your back or not. Because in one season, season 5, he was an ally. But in the next season, he turned against them just for money. And then the season later, he's with them again. This proves that you can't really trust him. And that's sort of what I like about him. There's that lack of trust with him that you never know what he's going to do. He's very unpredictable. So I'm going to put him at B as well. Karloff. His voice. Whoa, 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 whoa. His voice is very low-pitched to the point where I almost didn't know what he's saying sometimes. So that's kind of... But I love his elemental power of metal where he smashes his fists together and he creates a metal version of himself to make him look like a freaking statue. But he's cool, I guess. He's cool. I think I put him at C or D. C. Simply because his elemental power is really cool. Mr. Pale. I heard about this guy. He was actually in a different Lego line called Ultra Agents, along with Tox, who we'll get to later. So I don't know where Ninjago sort of gotten the rights to Ultra Agents. I don't know if they did that, but his power and Shade's power are like very, very similar. It's just that one's brighter. I think one's brighter than the other or something like that. But I like how he has no face. It kind of reminds me of the Invisible Man or something like that. I think that's what it's called. But his voice is kind of annoying. Do you mind if I join you? Do you notice how annoying that sounds? So I'm gonna say D. Griffin. Oh, I love this guy. His 80s rockers persona is just amazing. I especially love his voice acting. It fits him perfectly. Especially with speed. So he's not God tier. Is he God tier? God tier's. I really like this guy. He's really cool, and there's nothing really I dislike about this character. I think he's God tier, so I'm gonna put him at S. Ashe. Ashe is definitely underrated. Yes, he doesn't really speak a word in the series, but actions speak louder than words. So I really like this guy in his battle with Kai. It was the true which is better sort of contest. So I'm gonna say he's C plus, not exactly a B. Oh, stop that! Whenever you Nero. Remember when I did last video when I did the test to see what my element was? Apparently I got Nero's element. So, which I mean, his voice acting is cool. It fits him, and I really like this guy. So B. Gravis. Gravis is underutilized, I believe. Underrated. I do like that little, I think that, what's it called? The turban? I think that's what it's called, the turban. Because I'm not, yeah, it's a turban. And his powers of gravity are really cool. His voice is pretty cool, but, so I think he's gonna go at C. Bolobo. He kind of is like Karloff with the whole voice thing mixed up. And his power of nature is, I guess, somewhat cool, but not really. I think he would be a good D tier candidate. Jacob. Okay, Jacob. Jacob is very weak. His power of sound doesn't really work, especially since he's blind. But at least he did entertain me a little bit. So D. Tox or Taxakita, whatever you want to call her. Like what I said with Mr. Pale, she was in Ultra Agents. She never really spoke a word up until season 9 when she made a return. So D tier again. I don't hate her at all. Shade. I really like this guy. I like how everyone thought the spy was him, but I knew it was Skylar. Like, I knew it was Skylar. Like, what the hell are you doing? Stop going after him. He didn't do anything. But I really like this dude. He's on the same level as Nero, if not a tad higher. Camille or Chamille, whatever. I never really liked her, so F. The police commissioner. Sometimes he's kind of a dick, and other times he's just a freaking idiot. Like, I remember what Daly said about his least favorite characters video. Why would you place a dumb character in a place of authority? And in some cases, that's true. As long as they're entertaining, that sort of makes it up for me. And to be honest, he wasn't very entertaining. I never really liked the police commissioner, so F. Faith, she's hot, and I like her Russian accent. At least I think it's Russian. And she's kind of hot, to be honest. She's definitely the best dragon hunter, not just in the show, but actually, for me, I really like her, so I think I'll put her in A tier. Mistake. This one is kind of weird since she wasn't really important in the older seasons, but once the Oni and Dragon trilogy came out, it's like, oh, all of a sudden she's very important. That's sort of the weird thing with her character. It's that she wasn't important at first, but now she is. I don't really like that, to be honest. It's not, I do like the whole, her little voice kind of like this, but her character evolution is not that good. Samukai. Yeah, he's very weak, but that, to be fair, was the pilot. And I like how he was almost smart enough he almost outsmarted Garmadon by taking his throne back. But Lord Garmadon, as we all know, outsmarted him, and the rest is history. So, and then he came back and dated a party with Jay, and I do like, he's pretty cool back then, but now he sort of wore out with time. Then we have Cruncha and Knuckle. I never really liked the pair, to be honest. They were kind of annoying. But then again, they were the first humorous duo on the show, and humorous duos aged better over time. But I think they were the weakest of the two. I don't hate them, but I don't like them either. Oh. Now we have Pythor. My friend Ninja Man will be angry with me. He's not S tier. He is a pretty cool villain, but and he's the only villain that's still alive, as far as we know, other than Garmadon, obviously. He's like the only villain who hasn't died a single time, which that's amazing that he hasn't died yet. But he's pretty cool. But I feel like if he was utilized more, he would be much higher. So I'd put him at C. Scales. I like his return in season 11. He was pretty cool. He's cool. He's a cool side villain to Pythor, and his voice acting is kind of funny at times. So I think I'll put him at C or B. Because I really like Scales. The mechanic, I never liked him. He's a douchebag. Fankdom? Is that his name? Fankdom? I think it's Fankdom. But Fankdom, he's the two-headed Russian snake. It will be our pleasure. Basically. And he was pretty funny. He's pretty funny as a Fangpire. Yeah, Fangpire. I was trying to remember. He's a pretty funny Fangpire general, so B. Acidicus. Yeah. A lot of people like this guy. He's the storyteller. He's the storyteller. He told the story of the Curse of the Golden Master, and he told the story of Asphira. So at least he provides good, useful information. And so I put him at C. I don't like him as much as Scales or Fankdom, simply because he does provide good information, but sometimes he's just not as charming as the other two. Then we have, what's his name? Scalador? I think it's like Scalador or something like that. But he just basically chokes people to death. And he was very underutilized, and he's the worst of the five. So D. The Overlord. I love the Overlord. The Overlord is one of the most badass villains in the entire show. Like, he kicks ass. Like, I really love this guy. He's amazing. Like, everything about him is awesome. So I'm going to put him at God tier. Kozue. Kozue is... It reminds me a lot of, what's his name? Tisquantum or Squanto from the Native American... From when we learn about if you know about Native Americans, you probably heard of that name, but he was like a translator, sort of. That's what I think he was to me. But I really liked it. But I kind of was in the middle with this guy. I don't really like the Helmet of Shadows that much. But that's really no effect on Kozue, so I'm going to say he's D. Not F. I don't hate him. Dr. Julian. Why hasn't the show brought him back? Not in a flashback. But, like, if we have a show that we have dead characters coming back to life, why hasn't Julian been brought back to life? I think maybe because he's like the only characters to die a natural death and therefore can't be saved. Instead of a sacrifice, because a sacrifice is not a natural death. But I really like Julian. I really like his relationship with Zane, and I like how he still lives on, even though he is not alive anymore. So A. The first Binjutsu Master. I love the mystery around him. We never even saw his fucking face. He's very cool. He's very cool. He's the creator of all Ninjago. How can I not put him up there? Cryptor. Basically, Zane's evil version of himself. I liked him at first when he kicked Zane's ass, but when he kept losing to a freaking mini droid, he sort of annoyed me how he could lose. So he went from, like, I think B to all the way down to C. Chen, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. I hate you. Klaus should have been the main villain of season 4, not Chen. Not Chen. Klaus, I really like Klaus. He's very underutilized, and I did like his little diversion in Skybound a little bit, but I do like him B. Moro, one of the greatest villains in the entire show. Again, I really like this guy. It isn't really revenge. A lot of villains, either they want to take control of Ninjago or want revenge on someone. Moro is different. He isn't jealous. He isn't revenge necessarily. It's more or less jealousy. He's jealous of Lloyd. He's jealous that so it's not really, it's not really revenge or control. It's more jealousy. And I really like this guy. God tier is a bit stretching it, so I'll say A. Who's this guy? Wraith? Is that the person's name? Wraith? It's Wraith or Bansha. Wraith or Bansha. I'm going to say, I think that's Wraith. So Wraith, I think, was the first ghost that got taken out. So I did like his little ghost cycle. In the air shot. That was a really cool shot, by the way. But I don't think he should have been that easy to beat, even despite the fact that all ghosts could be beaten with water. I don't think he should have been beaten that easily. I did like his little chain though. He reminded me of Ghost Rider. He reminded me of Ghost Rider, if you remember what the Ghost Rider movies. So I think he's pretty cool. See, Bansha. I think that's her name, Bansha. Bansha, all she really did was that little scream on Blind Man's Eye or something, and taking control of Misako for a little bit. She didn't really do much, so I'm gonna put her at D. Jesus Christ, we have so many D tier. I need to scroll down. The Soul Archer. I really like the Soul Archer, especially this. There's one line. He said, "Run, run, run away." But I forgot what else he said. But I did like him. He's pretty cool. He's my favorite of the other ghosts. So, and then Gultar. Gultar's a piece of trash, as we all know. He's basically a dumbass. Notakon, one of the coolest villains. I did like his little deception. He is one of some of the best deception skills of every single villain. I really like this guy. He was so close to winning. That's how he was, like one of the closest, if not the closest, besides maybe the Sons of Garmadon. If I don't really to winning. Oh Jesus, table! Don't be like that. But I really like Notakon. I think he's A. Flintlock. I did like Flintlock's little mutiny against Notakon. I did like that. And I think that was pretty cool. That was his cool little arc. So I think Flintlock's pretty cool. Oh man, I love Doubloon. I love this guy. He is so underrated. He's by far my favorite of the Sky Pirates. Simply because I love the silent assassins. I love the silent assassin characters because they can kick your ass without speaking a freaking word. And I really like this guy. He's God tier for me. He's God tier. Clancy. A lot of people like Clancy, but I personally do not. He's just a wah, 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 wah. I did kind of like where he stood up to Garmadon. Notakon. I did like where he stood up to him, but he felt more or less like a pussy. He felt like a pussy to me. So I'm going to put him in F. Dogshank. A lot of people don't like her, but I actually like her. Her voice acting is pretty good, actually. It sounds like very Australian, like, "You chicken?" Yeah, it sounds very Aussie sounding. And that's sort of the interesting thing about it. Is that I don't know who voice acted her, but if it was an Australian, then that would be awesome. because then I would be right. But I do like her. Very underrated. Not my favorite of Sky Pirates, obviously, but second, definitely second. So I'll put her at, where did I put Flintlock? Okay, so I'll put her at B. Flintlock is a B. She's a B plus. Okay, Yang is a very cool villain, and he's one of the only villains to acknowledge that his, oh shit, I messed up. He's like one of the only villains to ever do that. The only other villain I could think of, he's one of the only villains that redeemed themselves, along with Moro and Harumi, I believe. And Garmadon, sort of, but that got ruined, so that doesn't count. Nanaka never redeemed himself. I'm trying to think about who redeemed himself. But yeah, but I did like his little connection with Cole. And if you support me in my Way of the Departed renditions, you can see the story of him in Way of the Departed. So I think he's very underutilized. So C. Jesus, we're getting so many C and Ds. Acronix. How can I not love this guy? He reminds me of myself, where I'm just loving technology, and I freaking love it. He's God tier. But then we have Crux, his slightly older brother. He's sort of a doubter. He reminds me of my father before he adopted a cell phone of his own. He was just anti-technology. Stupid desk. He was very anti-technology, yet he uses it to... It's just that some of his voice acting is not that good, so I think I'll put him at C. He's still cool. Makia kind of felt... I'm not going to say... I was going to say something about her, but I decided I'm not going to say it. It's kind of mean. But I will say that she just... I feel like the show needed more female, female thing, like female rights, sort of like that, like more female leaders in the show. And I feel like she was just an example of it, but she did not work well for me. She just felt like a bossy ass bitch. Yeah. And way too intelligent. She's way too intelligent. You can be intelligent, but way too intelligent. Like, how the fuck did she know what the other two were doing? Like, unless she's like freaking stalking them, then it shouldn't be that way. So I think she's D. Blunk's an idiot. I never really liked this kid, but Ragmonk I actually like. He's actually very entertaining. A lot of people don't really like this guy for how idiotic he is, but I feel like that's more on Blunk than Ragmonk, because if you compare the two, Ragmonk is the smarter of the two. So I really love Ragmonk. I really like this guy. His voice acting's good, and I'm gonna be honest, he's an underrated side villain. Underrated. So I'm gonna put him in A. No one can stop me. Harumi. A lot of people like her, but I don't really like her that much. She feels like a bitch who bathes in her own sorrow. I like her backstory, but that's literally the only thing I like about her. And this is up to my interpretation. You may think something different, but I feel like she was just barking up the wrong tree by going after Lloyd. She really should be going after Pythor, from my perspective. She was originally going to be an F, but she did redeem herself, which I did like, so I'm going to put her at D. Iron Baron, not a good villain. Mostly due to the storyline he was in First Realm. I never really cared for the First Realm storyline. It wasn't that good to me, which sort of killed Hunted for me. So I don't hate him, but he's not good. Then we have Hutchins. Hutchins was sort of useless. I feel like he didn't really do anything. He only appeared in like 2 episodes, and that's it. And then he died. And to be honest, why was he needed? Why was he needed? I don't hate him, but he didn't really need to be in the season. Then we have Ultraviolet. Ultraviolet, crazy ass bitch. She sort of reminds me of Harley Quinn, except she's just so loco and crazy. I mean, yeah, you can have crazy people as bad people, but I don't know. Something about her voice acting is not that good. Like, it's just not that good for me. Kilo, it's Kilo. Kilo's actually pretty good. Some lines of his are kind of awful, but I like his little British accent in season 11. Oi there, chums! That was funny, but he's pretty cool. He's good. He's better than Ultraviolet. I'll say that. But then we have Mr. fucking E. I love Mr. E. What? And I'm so upset. I'm so upset that the storyline of him and Zane never came to fruition. The storyline was originally going to be planned as, Mr. E is Echo Zane, which causes, there was even a whole little storyboard reel about it. And I really loved it. And I think it would have made Mr. E way better than he already is. But I really love Mr. E. Then we have Mindroid. He's very cute. I like how he beat Cryptor's ass. A little guy beating up his own father. But he's very cute, and I really like this guy. Really like this little bastard right here. Echo Zane. Echo Zane's very cool. I really like him. I only wish he was Mr. E, as I said before. And I wish that the whole season 6 never happened bullshit didn't happen, then he would be awesome. So he would be A if he stayed around, S if he was Mr. E, but he'll be put at B simply because he's very awesome. Then our last one, the Omega. I really love this guy. Yes, he may not have a backstory, which sort of kills the character for me, but his appearance and his demonic voice just send chills down my spine. Ay, ay, ay. I really like it. You would be perfect if you had a backstory, obviously. But I will put him at A. So there it is. There is my list of all the characters, or at least most of them anyway. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. Then click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see you folks in the next video. Bye-bye.